This video is primarily about the if command in R, which allows you to do what's called conditional execution. So if a certain condition holds, then a statement will be executed, and if it doesn't hold, then it won't be. But along the way, I'll just show you one or two other things while we set this up just quickly. The first of which is the difference between the command cat and the command print. So you've seen the command print before, so if we did something like print and then just some text, this is particularly about printing text to the console. So if we did something like this, like a command or a question, let's say, like that, and if we ran that, then you can see when that gets printed out, it gets printed out here. Are you a rich man? But you also get the quotes around it, and you get this one thing which is telling you that it's kind of the first element of this object that's being printed. The other way that you can print stuff to the screen, if you're just wanting to do something very simple like print out some text to the screen, is use the command cat, like that. And so if we run that one, you can see that kind of looks a bit nicer, right? If what you're wanting to do is to print something on the console, just some text on the console to read, then cat does that quite nicely. Now what you can also do, having posed such an interesting question such as this, is ask for an answer to be typed in from the keyboard. And an answer could be something like this. So the answer could be obtained from the scan function. So what scan does is it looks for some input, and if we just go scan n equals 1, that means we're going to look for one thing, one object, one response, and that's going to be typed to the keyboard. Now we need to tell R what kind of response we're going to give. Is it going to be a number? Is it going to be text? And in this case, it's going to be text, because obviously the answer is going to be like yes or no to this question, right? So the way we qualify this is to say what, and because we're after text, we'll go character, like that. And I'm just going to add one more option on here as well, which is quiet equals true. So that's just so when you type something in, if you don't put quiet equals true, then R just says one item read or something like that. It messes up the screen. It's unnecessary. So quiet equals true, I'll add in there as well. You can experiment without quiet equals true if you feel like it. So if we run that, then you see we now get down here in the console the question, are you a rich man? And then it's now waiting for us to answer a question. Now obviously in my case the answer is yes, I am fabulously rich. Only a fabulously rich person would make videos like this and give them away for free. So the answer is yes, and then we stop. Okay, so that's interesting up to a point, but what would be better is if we now did something with this answer. And that's where the if command comes in. All right, so we now have a way of asking a question, getting an answer. Now what do we do about it? Okay, so let's go back to our program here. Now the if command works something like this. So if, and then we put in brackets the condition that we want to check for to see if it's true or not. So for example, if answer equals, now when we're testing a condition, like if the answer is equal to something, we need to put two equals, not just one. So if answer equals yes, let's say, like that. Now if that's true, and then you open up some brackets, like that kind of thing for instance, and then whatever you put inside of those brackets will be executed if this condition is true, if answer is indeed equal yes. But if answer is something other than yes, then the statement in here will not be executed. So we could, for example, let's just type something out that's interesting like that. Okay, and now we can run that. So now we get the same question down here. Are you a rich man? Well, yeah, obviously yes I am. And there we go. It gives a response. Now, if you run it again, if you are a rich man. So if unfortunately you're not a rich man, you're neither rich nor a man, I guess, then you could say no, and nothing happens. That's a bit sad. So we want something to happen if we answer no to this as well, right? So we could handle this one of two ways. We could just go else. Okay. So what else does is what will happen if this answer here, if this condition here is not true. So if the answer is yes, we have one response printed out. If the answer is anything else, let's say, then we could have, let's say, whoops, here we go, let's say print, oh no, we don't want a print, we want a cat. How about that? Work hard. That sounds like good advice, doesn't it? So if we were to run this and say no, work hard. Now, we could also put together sequences of conditions in here. So any response other than yes will give us a work hard. There's nothing to stop you putting in additional conditions such as if answer equals no, and then we can run that, and if you answer no, then you get a work hard. And let's suppose you run it and you put in some gobbledygook, okay, and then you get nothing. So the final thing that we could put into this is just, let's say, one more else command like this, else, and into this we could say cat, please answer yes or no, like that. And so if we ran that and put in some gobbledygook, then we get the response, please answer yes or no. So you can see how, based on certain conditions which are holding within your program, you can execute one command or another command and use the else thing to kind of work your way through the various conditions which may or may not hold for this kind of variable.